World Cup winners don't always arrive at tournaments ready to play. And apparently, Switzerland enjoys making them sweat. In South Africa in 2010, the Swiss stunned heavy favourites Spain 1-0 in its opening group game. As Vicente Del Bosque's side got off to a false start, it didn't prevent Spain from lifting the trophy a little under 4 weeks later. So Brazil's frustrating 1-1 draw to Switzerland in Rostov-on-Don on Sunday should not diminish its status as one of the front-runners for the big prize in Russia. Perhaps Tite's team did not want to feel left out, after watching fellow heavyweights Spain and Argentina draw points against Portugal and Iceland, respectively. France labored to an unconvincing win over Australia, and Germany suffer a shocking loss to Mexico. Brazil started brightly enough, as Gabriel Jesus and Philippe Coutinho, the scorer of a stunning opening goal in the 20th minute, sparkled brightly next to the mighty downriver. Neymar less so. The Paris Saint-Germain forward found himself a peripheral figure throughout much of the contest, but Brazil's fans needn't panic about the team or their star. Despite Steven Zuber's unscripted intervention, unlike on home soil in 2014, the fortunes of this Selecao side do not appear dependent on the former Santos and Barcelona attackers' contribution. Certainly, it would be better to have Neymar fit and firing throughout. Toledo would be charged to the decider in Moscow next month, and there remains plenty of time for the world's most expensive player to get up to speed. But with Willian, Gabriel Jesus, Coutinho, Douglas Costa and Roberto Firmino also among Tite's attacking options, playing ahead of a balanced midfield comprising Paulino, and one of Casemiro or Fernandinho, and ably supported by Marcelo and Danilo on the flanks, Brazil can justifiably still hope to win this World Cup, with or without Neymar. And with or without an opening victory over Switzerland. Fim de partida. A. Coutinho, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo and Ronaldo were the exceptional frontline, and Tite's equivalent cannot yet claim to be worthy of inheriting their mantle, despite their promise. Such accolades may well depend on their fortunes here, but behind the creators and finishers, the unspectacular workers would recognize something of themselves in one another. Gilberto Silva and Kleberson, fated to different Premier League fortunes, laid the foundations and supplied the building blocks for those triumphant weeks in Japan and Korea. Lucio, Edmilson and Rock Jr. were solid enough at the back. Their humble successors can do the same. 16 years on, Luis Felipe Scolari knew exactly what was required from each department of his side to get the job done, and Tite appears to share that clarity and simplicity of purpose, a characteristic lacked by many of the men to separate their respective tenures, including Filipao, in his ultimately traumatic second bite at the cherry. It's worth remembering that it took an 87th-minute penalty from Rivaldo to get Brazil up and running in its opener against Turkey in 2002. No such last-minute reprieve was forthcoming in Rostov, despite Brazil's best efforts in the final moments, and the merciless quills of the Brazilian and global media may well be sharpened ahead of next Friday's meeting with Costa Rica in St. Petersburg. But don't write Brazil off just yet, far from it. We've only turned the first page in the Selecao's latest World Cup chapter.